Today we're taking a look at the Jabra Engage 55 headset. We're going to be, of course, unboxing this thing, doing a device overview, showing you all the features, capabilities, doing a wear and feel test so you can see what it actually looks like to wear the thing. This has a super long range, so we're going to do a little test or demo on how far out you can actually take this. 150 meters, that's a long way. And then, of course, we'll demo using it with Microsoft Teams because this is the Teams variant. Certified headset, has some integration points we're going to touch on, and we will record our audio through it so that you get a feel for that. Before we get to all that stuff, quick reminder, if you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button below, turn on notifications to stay in the know, and of course, throw a like on the video if you found it helpful, splash it all over your social media. Huge thanks of support as always, and now let's get to the device. Now, before we get this thing out of the box, let's take a look at the packaging itself. There are some key features that we'll call out ahead of time before we even dig in. Right up front, we see this is the USB-A version. USB-C is available. This has a range of up to 150 meters. That is a long way. That is 490 feet for those of us that need to think about the world in terms of feet instead of meters. That has a DECT USB adapter, and we see that pictured right here. Some flexibility to it so it doesn't get banged around or broken. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then military-grade DECT security level C, and going beyond that, there is 256-bit AES encryption, so security is not a concern here. Flipping the box to the side, we got a few more things. Professional-grade noise cancellation built right in. This thing is a very light headset, so easy to wear, doesn't clamp on the head. We'll actually try that on and let you know our impressions, but that is the claim there. Certified for Microsoft Teams, at least this version. There is a UC version for all other platforms. There is a busy light on the end of the boom mic. Enhanced hearing protection. Both Jabra and their parent company, GN, are known for not just bringing quality audio experiences, but protecting your hearing from ultra-loud noises in the devices themselves. And finally, right here at the bottom, we get up to 13 hours of battery life and in-call charging capabilities. Last little item here, we see this is the stereo bundle, meaning we have the stereo, 2 earmuffs on this device. You can get it with mono, so 1 earmuff, and the mono convertible, which is like a wearing on the ear, not over the head, single ear device. The bundle includes the charging station so that we can set this in its cradle when we're not using it and charge that way. And with that, let's remove the box. You simply lift the cover or sleeve from the outside. We get a little friendly reminder before we open this thing to register the device and manage it via Jabra Direct software. And then with that, we have a handy little place to put our finger in and crack it open. We'll slide over, tilt up, and we can see we've got some guidance and directions on actually using and getting started. Pretty simple getting started here. Step 1, plug that USB DECT dongle into your laptop. Step 2, we've got Teams integration built right into this Teams button where the boom mic attaches. A couple things we'll call out when we're actually looking at the device, but they show you here just so you're familiar. You got your call status LED and pairing capability on the DECT dongle itself. The headband is adjustable, of course. Their heads come in different sizes and shapes, right? So you can adjust to meet the exact size your head needs. For our call control button down here, we can answer and end calls, reject calls, power the headset on and off. The Teams functionality will open Microsoft Teams or view notifications in Teams. At the top and bottom, we've got volume up and down controls. There is a headset status and busy light LED right here on the bottom part of the circle. And then finally, down here on the boom mic, we've got a mute button on the underside and our busy light LED at the very end. Inside the box, we've got the carrying pouch. This is a soft cloth pouch right here. Zips halfway around. Got the Jabra logo right here on the side sewed on. A nice little notice that the box is thoughtfully crafted with 100% recyclable materials and sustainable water-based ink. Good to know for those of us looking to support companies that are taking actions on the sustainability side. Flipping that portion open, we see that we've got our paperwork in here, and then of course we've got our charging stand. This will sit on the desk. It's got some protective plastic we'll remove, and it will plug into the laptop via USB. Now, the charging station is, again, part of the bundle. This is optional. You do not need to order the bundle. You can order just the headset. We've got a USB-A end on this side to plug into our laptop. The headset itself will sit right in this little cradle here and charge via these prongs, and will sit on your desktop at this angle. Peeling the film off the bottom of the underside, you have kind of this rubbery felt-like material preventing the charger from sliding around on the desktop. And with that, let's get the Engage 55 out of its carrying case. That zipper goes halfway around, and we pull the headset out. We've got a couple things inside here. Of course, we've got the headset. We have that Microsoft Teams button. We can see we've got a little bit of juice in there already, a little purple blinking LED at the bottom. We've got some protective paper here we'll remove, and that will reveal some of our branding. And we'll set this aside and go over the finer details of the headset momentarily. Also, in our carrying pouch, we've got a charger USB cable. We've got the USB-A on this side, and of course, our micro USB on the other. This will allow us to have that in-call charging in case we're running low on battery. Maybe we hadn't set our headset on the charger. Just plug this in while you're on your call, and you're not worried about the headset dying. And finally, we've got a pouch built right in here to hold our DECT USB dongle. It does have a flexible neck to it. This allows for the laptop to be moved around. Maybe the dongle gets bumped against something. It's not breaking off or breaking the port on your laptop or PC. Coming in for a closer look up top, you can see we've got a Jabra logo here and Bluetooth button capability right in the center for pairing. There's a little LED built around the center that will demonstrate when we plug it in, letting us know the status of whether we're in a call or not. The underside has some rubber grip built right around the edge of the circle, so that as it sits on the desktop, it doesn't easily slide around. It kind of stays in place, but it still has the flexibility just in case that is needed. Coming in for a closer look at the Engage 55, again, this is the Microsoft Teams certified headset. There is a UC variant to support your other platforms. The Microsoft Teams gives you direct integration to the Teams app. This is a very light headset, as was mentioned earlier, and it has the flexibility, it has the bounce back, but it does not have a tight clamp. I imagine this is going to be a very easy thing to wear if you are on calls for a large number of hours during the day. Good amount of cushion and foam built in. I cannot see where you'd be feeling any internal metal or plastic components at all. To adjust the size of the headset, it simply pulls out up top or goes back in. The boom mic, of course, features advanced noise canceling capabilities. It extends down, has a long reach so that it places itself optimally near your mouth, but it has a mute button built in right on the underside of the mic, and then your busy light built in right at the front of the mic, so that if someone is seeing you from a distance and looking at your face, they will see whether or not you are on a call and can be approached. The Teams button is not just for Teams, it's also for handling your calls, so answer, hang up, reject a call. Then you've got volume up, volume down capabilities right there as well. And right on the underside, we've got another LED status indicator. On the same earmuff that the boom mic is on, we've got our charging port at the very bottom. We can either plug our USB cable in for in-call charging, or the headset will sit in the cradle at this point and connect to that prong we saw earlier for charging. So before we get this thing plugged in and start demoing its capabilities, we'll do a quick look and feel, a wearability test, if you will. As mentioned, extremely light, non-clamping. It does come in, it rests inward, but it is not a tight clamp at all. It is so light. So let's go ahead and get it on. Now, I need to obviously adjust it down by adjusting the headbands up here. So we'll pull it down to meet the size of my head. And we got it right over the ears there. Should be good. And I'll just say, as far as the feel right up front, that lightness, it is so light, it carries on. You barely feel like you are wearing a headset. So if you are going to be on a call for hours and hours and hours and you're worried about feeling hot and sweaty or tight on your head, this thing, you barely know that it's there. So there is that very big level of comfort. You probably wouldn't even need this nice or this plush of earmuffs with how light it is on the ears, but it's nice to have the plushness as well. So here you go, a little bit of a demo on what that looks like to actually wear it, actually feel having it on the head. I'm going to go ahead and put the boom mic down so we can kind of get a look at that. It should be right around the mouth area. So there you go. You see what this looks like to be actually from a distance, someone on the headset, talking on the headset. So there you go. Look and feel demo. In terms of the feel, you're just going to have to take my word for it. It is extremely comfortable. It is extremely light. You really don't even know that it's there. I could easily wear this thing for all day long calls, contact centers, etc. Very good option in those areas. So that's what it looks like. Hope this helps. Let's move on to some functionality. First up, we have plugged in the charging cradle to our laptop and a USB-A connection there. We've got our headset. We'll plug the Jabra Engage 55 in by just setting it right there. Just kind of cradles in. We see that we got a charging LED indicator up front letting us know we are actively charging the device. It will look different once it's fully charged. Next up, we take that DECT USB dongle, USB-A, we plug that in, and once it's plugged in, we'll get a little bit of an indicator there. There we go. The LEDs light up, and again, our pairing button right in the center.
All right, I don't want to spend too much time diving into managing the headset in Jabra Direct, but as you can see, if you download the Jabra Direct software, this is where you will update your firmware for both the headset and the adapter, actually. And you will not just update firmware, but modify and change any kind of settings there. We can see we've got a 25% charge on our headset right now, and the Jabra Link 400 is present. Now, to check for updates, we'll simply go over to updates. We can see here that the Jabra Direct software itself could use an update, so we'll get to that later. But if I say check for updates, we look at both the Engage 55 and the Jabra Link 400 fully up to date. We don't need to update them. With that in mind, let's just head on over and take a look at the settings on each. So for our Engage 55 stereo, we see that the device is ready for use. As far as soft phones, we got Skype for Business and Microsoft Teams there. I have not opened up Microsoft Teams and selected this as my active audio device yet. Let's go ahead and do that now. Back in the Jabra Direct software, we see that Teams is available and we are ready to use this with our soft phone. Clicking on settings, we've got a few things in here that we can take a look at. We can change the headset name. We can change the microphone position. So if you prefer to have the microphone on the opposite side of the head, you'll just need to keep in mind that the mute button may be on top instead of on the bottom. Right now we've got it on the right side and we're going to keep it on the right side. But again, you can change that to the left. And a little bit more information here about the product. So this is where you'd come to find that firmware version, headset part number. And going back out to the main screen, we'll take a look at our Jabra Link 400. Again, we see we're ready for Microsoft Teams here. If we click on settings, a little bit more can be seen. Equalizer for calls, normal, hearing protection, peak stop, but we got a few different safe tone options in here as well. You've got side tone options, audio bandwidth, notifications, voice notification, language, conferencing mode, enables multiple headsets to connect to the same phone call. That's pretty cool. Ending conference calls, power nap or kind of a standby mode setting, power nap wake up settings, optimize audio for music, call connection tone, headset name, microphone position. Obviously, a lot more control over your headset functionality, calls, preferences, all that right here with the Jabra Link 400 settings. Going over to the DECT adapter itself, we have things like wireless range that we can change. We got long, medium, and short. It does say that if you experience signal interference from other wireless devices, we might want to select medium or short in that case. We've got a DECT headset density area. We have low density selected by default. They say to put high density in here if you've got a large number of DECT headsets. Maybe you've got a contact center with lots of DECT headsets deployed. You might want to select high density there. We're going to leave it at low density because this will be the only one around here. Power nap enables sleep mode if the DECT adapter is not used for 10 hours. It's off by default, but you can flip that on. And you can change your adapter name. On the soft phone side, you can turn off your wireless call control with those soft phones, but why would you want to do that? So I'm going to leave that in place. You've got active call noise. So it adds a low level of white noise to a call. This lets participants know the call is still active if nobody is speaking. Interesting setting, off by default, know that it's there. Audio connection type, this is set to automatic, but you can make it a delayed or always. Headset ringtone enables a ringtone in the headset for incoming soft phone calls. And finally, all the product information we need for our DECT adapter right here on this tab. A quick demo of Microsoft Teams integration. We're going to go ahead and put the Engage 55 headset on. You see that I've got the Microsoft Teams button on this side. We have our Teams client open, but it's not up on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and touch the button. I actually hear the click inside the ear, and it brings the Microsoft Teams client to the forefront of the screen. Now we're going to start an ad hoc Microsoft Teams meeting just to demo a couple things. In my settings here, you'll notice that I've got the Jabra headset selected automatically as the headset that we're going to use in Microsoft Teams in this call. And down on my video, I've got the integrated webcam, which is why it's kind of a cruddy experience there. It's not an optimal view. That's all good. That's all we need. So we'll say join, and we're connecting our call. Once we're in the call, we're just going to close out that little notification up top. Now, the first thing here is you'll see I'm in a call. So I've got a busy light on the end of the boom mic. That's letting people know from a distance, hey, this person is actually on a call. You shouldn't approach them. So busy light at work. I've got the mute button on the underside. Now, looking in the Microsoft Teams client, you see we're not muted. If I tap that mute button, I hear a voice inside saying muted in my chosen language, and we mute the Teams client. If I press the button one more time, it unmutes. So a little bit more Microsoft Teams integration there. You have other call controls built in, like the ability to answer the call by tapping the button, reject the call. I'm going to hang up this call now that we're done with it by just pressing the Microsoft Teams button once here on the ear. So we press it, and the call hangs up. Now, next demo, we are recording our audio through the Jabra Engage 55 microphone right now. To prove that, we're going to pull up OBS Studio really quick. Please pardon the infinity screen here. And we're going to click on our audio input capture down here. We'll open that up, and you can see we have the microphone Jabra Link 400 selected. That's our DECT USB adapter. We say OK. And then since I'm kind of in the way here, we're going to slide this thing over a little bit. And you can see down here, we are in the middle of a recording. So I'm actively recording using these settings, using the Jabra Engage 55 to record. So the audio you're hearing, if you're wanting to know what the sound is like on the far end of someone using the Jabra Engage 55, that's what you hear right now. For our last demo, let's take this thing on a little trip down the road away from the USB dongle and see exactly how far we can walk. Maybe we won't take it as far as it can go, but to give you a headset of how crazy far you can be from the USB dongle and still be heard crystal clear.
Okay, one last demo. We're going to do a range demo. Now, I want to call out, we are outdoors, clearly, and there are trees everywhere, and we got bright sun above, so it's not a great place to be doing a demo, either of video or even audio, right? All this stuff out here can kind of get in the way of a good, clear signal. And also, the audio of me speaking through the headset is going to sound much better in the office in front of my equipment than it's going to be outside in the elements. So not a true test. But what I want to demonstrate is as I take a little stroll back toward the trees and start to get closer, you're going to notice I get pretty far away before things start to cut out. It's a good long range. For video, we've got the Panicast 20. It does have its AI capabilities turned on, so it's going to do a little bit of reframing as I walk away, trying to follow me, trying to stay up close, and eventually giving up and saying, yeah, I don't know where you're going, but I'm going to stop trying to follow you, buddy. And when I get out there, I'm just going to, it increments, do a little bit of talking, let you see how far that range is actually going. Let's take a stroll. The Panicast 20 has followed me a little ways. I'm still a fairly reasonable distance to the laptop. I don't know, maybe 10 feet or so, 12 feet, but obviously the range isn't impacted. I'm going to step back a little further, and I've gotten far enough away that the Panicast 20 has stopped trying to keep up with me, so it just zoomed way out and let it be what it is. That lets you see exactly how far away from the laptop I am. Not anywhere near it. This is a pretty far distance. I would be completely out of an office if I were in an office at this stage. Let's go back even further. If I were in a house at this stage, I would have wandered away from my office, out to the kitchen, maybe even a little further, and you would still be hearing me on the headset with that DECT USB dongle. And here I am, pretty far away. I know you're still hearing me on the dongle. We may be starting to get some distortion at this stage, especially with some of the trees and things around, but you're still hearing me, and I am a good long ways out there. We are likely pushing the limits at this stage, but you're still getting a connection. I'm way out here. That DECT capability really enables you to move around freely while still maintaining a connection to your call.
And there it is, the Jabra Engage 55 DECT wireless headset. Hope you found the video helpful. I hope the demos gave you a good feel of what it's like to use the device, what its capabilities are, that integration with Microsoft Teams. If you did find it helpful, throw a like on the video below, share it with all your colleagues on social media. Truly appreciate you. And if you're not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, hey, there's a really handy subscribe button below. Go ahead and click that and then turn on notifications and stay in the know for all the latest content. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope we'll see you back here for the next device overview video.